The humans had made something terrible. They called it the WAST. Commander Kyle Bennett stood on the bridge of his spaceship, the Silver Dawn. He looked out the big window at the planet below. Smoke and fire covered the land. Buildings were broken. Ships were burning. And somewhere down there, the Warbeast was still killing. "How many people are dead?" Kyle asked. His voice was tired and sad. Lieutenant Emma Lawson looked at her computer screen. Her hands were shaking. 20,000 dead, sir. Maybe more. We cannot count them all. Kyle closed his eyes. 20,000 people. Men, women, children. All gone because humans had tried to make the perfect weapon. The Warbeast had been built in secret. The best scientists from Earth had worked on it for 10 years. They wanted to make something so scary that no alien race would ever attack humans again. They took metal and flesh and computers and put them all together. They made a creature 300 feet tall. It had armor that could stop any weapon. It had claws that could cut through steel. It had a brain made of the most advanced computers ever built, and they had lost control of it. Kyle remembered the day the Warbeast woke up. He had been there, watching from behind thick glass. The creature had opened its red eyes and looked around the room. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then something changed. The Warbeast screamed. It was a sound that Kyle would never forget. Full of anger, full of pain, full of something that almost sounded like fear. The creature had broken free. It smashed through the walls like they were paper. It killed everyone in the building. Then it found a ship and flew to the nearest human colony. And it started to destroy everything. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, the Warbeast had attacked 5 planets. It moved from place to place, never stopping, never resting. It killed and burned and broke. Nothing could stop it. "Sir," Emma said, "Admiral Patricia Cole is calling." Kyle nodded. "Put her on screen." The old admiral appeared on the holographic display. She had gray hair and hard eyes. She had been fighting wars for 40 years. But even she looked scared now. "Bennett," she said, "we are running out of options. The Galactic Council is very angry. They say if we cannot control our weapon, they will send their own fleets to destroy it. That means war with the alien races. What do you want me to do, Admiral?" "I am sending the Omega Bomb. It will arrive in 2 days. When it gets there, we will drop it on the planet." Kyle felt his heart go cold. The Omega Bomb was the most powerful weapon humans had ever made. It could destroy an entire planet. "Admiral, there are still people down there. Survivors hiding in the ruins. If we use that bomb, we will kill them too. I know." The Admiral's voice was flat. "But we have no choice. The Warbeast must be stopped. If we let it keep going, it will kill millions more. There has to be another way. If you find one in the next 2 days, tell me. Otherwise, we do what we have to do." The screen went dark. Kyle stood alone on the bridge, thinking. He did not want to kill innocent people. But how could he stop a monster that no weapon could hurt? The door opened behind him. Dr. Nathan Clark walked in. He was a thin man with messy hair and glasses. He studied aliens for a living. He knew more about other species than anyone else on the ship. "Commander," Nathan said, "I think I found something. What is it?" "Do you remember the Velathri? The aliens we met last year?" Kyle nodded. The Velathri were strange beings. They had been alive for thousands of years, maybe longer. They did not fight wars. They did not build weapons. Instead, they had something called Whisperers. These were special Velathri who could talk to any mind, human or machine or animal. They could feel what others felt. They could share thoughts without words. "The Velathri have offered to help us," Nathan said. "They will send one of their Whisperers to try and talk to the Warbeast. Talk to it." Kyle almost laughed. Nathan, that thing is a killing machine. It does not talk. It only destroys. Maybe. But the Velothri say that the Warbeast has a mind. A real mind, not just a computer. They think it is scared and confused. They think that is why it is attacking everything. Kyle thought about this. The Warbeast did have a brain, a mix of computer and living tissue. The scientists had wanted it to be smart enough to make its own decisions in battle. But they had never thought about what that meant. They had never asked if the creature might have feelings, if it might be afraid. Even if that is true, Kyle said, how can one whisperer stop something that sighs? The Warbeast will crush them in 1 second. The Velothri do not use force. They use understanding. The whisperer will try to reach the Warbeast's mind and calm it down. It is our only chance, Commander. The only way to save the people still on that planet. Kyle walked to the window and looked at the burning world below. Somewhere down there, people were hiding in broken buildings, praying for help. Somewhere down there, a monster was walking through the ruins, killing everything it saw. And somewhere out in space, a bomb was coming that would end all of it. Contact the Velothri, Kyle said at last. Tell them we accept their offer. Yes, sir. Nathan turned to leave, then stopped. Commander, there is one more thing. The whisperer they are sending. Her name is Seraphis. She's very old, even for a Velothri. They say she can talk to any mind in the universe. Let us hope they are right. Because if this does not work, a lot of people are going to die. Nathan left. Kyle stayed at the window, watching the smoke rise from the planet. He did not know if this plan would work. He did not know if anything would work. But he had to try. He had to believe that there was another way. Because if there was not, then humans would have to live with the fact that they had made a monster. And then they had killed thousands of innocent people to stop it. That was not something Kyle could accept. Not today. Not ever. He turned away from the window and started to prepare for the hardest mission of his life. The Velothri ship came out of nowhere. One moment, the space around the Silver Dawn was empty. The next moment, a strange ship was floating beside them. It did not look like any human ship. It had no sharp edges, no metal plates, no engines that Kyle could see. It looked like something alive. Its skin moved and changed colors like it was breathing. That is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen, Emma said softly. Kyle had to agree. The Velothri ship seemed to glow from inside. Soft lights moved across its surface like waves on water. It was not scary at all. It looked peaceful, kind. They are calling us, Emma said. Let them through. The holographic display came on. Kyle saw his first Velothri. She was tall and thin, with arms and legs that were longer than a human's. Her skin was pale blue, and it had glowing patterns on it, like someone had drawn lines of light all over her body. Her eyes were the strangest part. They were silver, like mirrors, and they seemed to look right through Kyle into his soul. I am Seraphis, she said. Her voice was soft and seemed to come from everywhere at once. I am a whisperer of the Velothri. I have come to help. Thank you for coming, Kyle said. I am Commander Kyle Bennett. The situation is very bad. I know. I have felt the creature's pain from across the stars. It screams without sound. It cries without tears. It is lost and afraid. Kyle found it hard to believe that the monster killing thousands of people was afraid. But he kept his thoughts to himself. Can you really talk to it? Can you make it stop? Seraphis tilted her head slowly. I can try to reach its mind. But whispering is not control. I cannot force the creature to do anything. I can only offer it a different way. A chance to be something other than what it is. And if it does not listen, then your bomb will fall and many will die. But I must try. All life deserves a chance. even life that was made in a laboratory. Nathan stepped forward. His eyes were wide with interest. Seraphis, how does whispering work? How can you talk to a machine? The creature is not just a machine. Your scientists use living brain tissue in its design. They gave it the ability to think, to feel, to be aware of itself. That means it has consciousness. And all consciousness can be reached through the whisper. What do you need from us? Kyle asked. A small ship to take me to the surface. And your trust. I must go alone. Any weapons or soldiers will only make the creature more afraid. Kyle hesitated. Sending Seraphis down alone seemed like sending her to die. The Warbeast was 300 feet tall. It could crush her without even noticing. But what choice did he have? The bomb was coming. The alien fleets were gathering. If this did not work, everything would be lost. You will have what you need, he said. 2 hours later, Kyle watched as a small shuttle flew down toward the burning planet. Seraphis sat inside it alone, with no weapons and no armor. Just herself and her strange gifts. The Warbeast is moving, Emma said, watching her screens. It has seen the shuttle. It is going toward it. Kyle gripped the arms of his chair. How long until they meet? 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Kyle had never known time could move so slowly. He watched the 2 dots on the screen, the tiny shuttle and the massive creature, getting closer and closer to each other. Sir, Admiral Cole is calling again. Tell her I am busy. She says it is urgent. Kyle sighed. Put her through. The Admiral appeared on screen. She looked even more tired than before. Bennett, what is happening down there? My sensors show a shuttle approaching the creature. We are trying something different, Admiral. A Vela-3 Whisperer is going to attempt communication with the Warbeast. Communication? The Admiral's eyes went wide. Are you insane? That thing cannot be reasoned with. It is a weapon. With respect, Admiral, we made it a weapon. Maybe it can be something else. The bomb arrives in 30 hours. If your Vela-3 friend is not successful by then, we proceed with the original plan. Understood. The Admiral ended the call. Kyle turned back to the main screen. The shuttle had landed. Seraphis was stepping out onto the broken ground. On the surface, everything was gray. Ash covered the streets like snow. Buildings stood in ruins, their walls cracked and fallen. Fires burned in the distance, sending black smoke into the sky. The air smelled of death and burning metal. Seraphis walked through it all without fear. She moved slowly, carefully, her silver eyes taking in every detail. She could feel the pain of this place. Thousands of people had died here. Their fear still hung in the air like mist, and she could feel something else. Something huge and angry and terribly alone. The ground began to shake. SERAP stopped walking. She stood in the middle of a wide street, surrounded by fallen buildings. She did not run. She did not hide. She simply waited. The Warbeast came around a corner like a living mountain. It was bigger than Seraphis had imagined. 300 feet of metal and flesh, walking on legs like tree trunks. Its armor was covered in burns and dents from all the weapons that had been fired at it. But the wounds were already healing. Tiny machines crawled over its skin, fixing the damage. Its eyes found Seraphis. Red eyes, glowing like hot coals, full of rage and hunger. The creature opened its mouth and roared. The sound was so loud that buildings shook and windows broke. Seraphis sat down. She folded her long legs beneath her and closed her silver eyes. She breathed in the ash-filled air. She let her mind reach out, past the fear and the anger, searching for the small light of consciousness, hidden deep inside the monster. And she began to whisper. It was not words that she sent. It was feelings, calmness, peace, understanding. She wrapped them in warmth, and sent them floating toward the creature's mind like bubbles rising through water. The Warbeast stopped. Its massive foot, already raised to crush this tiny being, hung in the air. For the first time since it had awakened, the creature did not attack immediately. Something was touching its mind. Something gentle and warm. Something it had never felt before. On the silver dawn, Kyle leaned forward in his chair. What is happening? Why did it stop? Nathan was watching his instruments with wide eyes. I do not know. But the creature's brain activity is changing. Something is getting through to it. Kyle looked at the screen, at the tiny blue figure sitting calmly before the massive monster. He did not understand what Seraphis was doing. But whatever it was, it seemed to be working. For the first time in weeks, he felt something he had almost forgotten. Hope. Admiral Patricia Cole could not believe what she was seeing. She stood in the command center of the Earth Fleet, surrounded by screens and computers and officers running back and forth. Every screen showed the same thing. The Warbeast, lying still in the ruins of the colony. Not attacking. Not destroying. Just lying there like a sleeping giant. This is impossible, she said. One alien did this? Yes, Admiral, the officer beside her said. The Velathri Whisperer has been with the creature for 12 hours. It has not moved or attacked since she began. Patricia shook her head slowly. She had been fighting wars her whole life. She had seen terrible things and done terrible things. She understood weapons and battles and the hard choices that commanders had to make. But this was something she did not understand at all. Get me Commander Bennett, she said. A moment later, Kyle's face appeared on the screen. He looked tired but hopeful. Admiral, I assume you have seen the news. I have seen it. I do not understand it, but I have seen it. How is this possible? The Velathri have abilities we do not fully understand. Seraphis says that the Warbeast has a real mind, a consciousness. It was never evil, just scared and confused. She reached out to it and showed it another way. Patricia was quiet for a moment. Bennett, the Galactic Council is meeting right now. They want to know what we plan to do with the creature. Some of them are demanding that we destroy it anyway. They say it is too dangerous to let live. And what do you think, Admiral? I think we made a terrible mistake when we created that thing. I think thousands of people are dead because of our pride and stupidity. But I also think that if we can fix this mistake without more killing, we should try. Kyle felt relief wash over him. He had not expected the Admiral to be so open to this idea. Seraphis has offered to take the Warbeast to Velathri space. Her people have experience helping damaged minds. They believe they can help the creature heal and find a new purpose. A new purpose? It is a weapon, Bennett. What other purpose could it have? Maybe it could be a protector instead of a destroyer. Maybe it could guard planets instead of attacking them. The creature has power that no one else has. If that power was used for good instead of evil, it could save millions of lives. Patricia thought about this. It sounded crazy. A monster becoming a hero. A weapon becoming a guardian. But then again, everything about this situation was crazy. Maybe crazy was the only thing that made sense anymore. I will take your suggestion to the council, she said. I cannot promise anything. There are people who will never accept this. They want blood. They want revenge. I understand. But we have to try. Yes, we do. The Admiral paused, and for a moment, Kyle saw something in her eyes that he had never seen before. Doubt. Maybe even regret. Bennett, do you think we were wrong to make the Warbeast in the first place? Kyle did not answer right away. He had asked himself that question many times since this nightmare began. I think we wanted to protect ourselves, he said finally. I think we were scared of all the dangers in the universe, and we tried to make something that would keep us safe. But we did not think about what we were creating. We gave birth to a living being and then treated it like a tool. That was our mistake. And now thousands are dead because of it. Yes, and we can never take that back. But we can do better going forward. We can learn from this and make different choices. Patricia nodded slowly. I hope you are right, Commander. For all our sakes. The screen went dark. Kyle let out a long breath. He had done what he could. Now all he could do was wait. Down on the planet's surface, Seraphis sat beside the sleeping warbeast. The creature's breathing was slow and steady, its massive chest rising and falling like waves on an ocean. For the first time since its creation, it looked peaceful. But Seraphis knew the peace was fragile. The voices in the creature's mind were quiet now, but they were not gone. The programming that made it want to destroy was still there, buried deep in its brain. It would take years of careful work to heal that damage, if it could be healed at all. Still, she had hope. She had seen minds more broken than this one find their way back to wholeness. She had watched beings lost in darkness find the light again. The warbeast was not beyond saving. Nothing ever was. Seraphis. The voice came from her communicator. It was Kyle Bennett. Yes, Commander? The Council is meeting to decide the creature's fate. Admiral Cole is speaking for us, but there is strong opposition. Some of the alien races want the warbeast destroyed no matter what. I understand. Fear makes people do terrible things. Can the creature survive if they attack it? Seraphis looked at the sleeping giant beside her. Probably. Its armor is very strong, and it heals itself quickly. But if it wakes up to an attack, all my work will be undone. It will become the monster again. The fear and anger will take over. What do you need from us? Time and trust. If your people can give the creature a chance, I believe it can become something beautiful. But that will not happen if it is treated as an enemy. I will do everything I can. I know you will, Kyle Bennett. You're a good man. Your species is young and makes many mistakes, but there is kindness in you. That is why I came to help. Kyle felt warmth spread through his chest at her words. Thank you, Seraphis, for everything. Do not thank me yet. The hardest part is still to come. She ended the call and turned back to the warbeast. Its eyes were still closed, but she could feel its mind stirring. It was dreaming, she realized. For the first time in its life, it was dreaming. She wondered what a creature born for war would dream about. Fighting? Destruction? Or maybe something else entirely. Maybe it was dreaming about the forests and rivers she had shown it. Maybe it was imagining a world where it did not have to hurt anyone, where it could simply exist without pain or rage or endless violence. Rest well, she whispered, reaching out to touch its massive leg. When you wake, a new life will be waiting for you. A life where you can be more than a weapon. A life where you can be free. The creature stirred slightly at her touch. A low sound came from deep in its chest, not a roar or a growl, but something almost like a sigh. And Seraphis smiled. Perhaps, she thought, this was what humans were really capable of. Not just making weapons and fighting wars, but also learning from their mistakes. Growing. Changing. Becoming better than they were before. If the warbeast could learn to be something other than a monster, maybe humans could learn to be something other than warriors. That was a beautiful thought, and Seraphis held on to it as the hours passed and the fate of worlds hung in the balance. The warbeast had never had a name. The scientists who made it called it Omega-7. That was not a name. That was a number. A label. Like calling a tool by its serial code. To them, the creature was just a thing. A weapon. A machine that happened to be alive. But inside that massive body, something had grown. Something the scientists had not planned for. A mind. A self. a being that could think and feel and wonder. And from the moment that mind woke up, it had been in terrible pain. The creature did not understand itself. It knew it was made for war. Fighting was written into every part of its brain. When it saw living things, something inside, it screamed to destroy them. When it heard sounds, its weapons wanted to fire. When it felt anything at all, rage boiled up like hot water. But there was something else too. Something small and quiet, buried deep under all that anger. A voice that asked questions the creature could not answer. Why am I here? What am I for? Why does everything hurt so much? No one had ever answered those questions. No one had ever tried. The scientists saw only a weapon. The soldiers saw only a monster. Every living thing the creature met wanted to destroy it, or run from it, or control it. Until now, the Whisperer's touch was like nothing the creature had ever felt. It was soft, warm, patient. It did not try to control or command. It simply reached out and asked a question. Who are you? The Warbeast did not know how to answer. It did not have words for what it was. All it had was pain and anger and loneliness, so deep it felt like drowning. I am Seraphis. I am here to listen. Will you talk to me? The creature's mind churned with confusion. Talking was not something it knew how to do. It knew how to fight. It knew how to destroy. But talking? That was for real people. Living people. Not monsters made in laboratories. You are not a monster. You are a being. You have a mind and a heart. That makes you real. How could you know that? The creature thought. You do not know what I am. You do not know what I have done. I can feel your pain. It burned so bright that I felt it from across the stars. That is why I came. No one should hurt so much alone. The Warbeast stood still in the ruined street. Its massive body blocked out the sun. Its weapons hummed with power, ready to fire at any moment. But something was changing inside it. The rage that had driven it for so long was still there. But now, there was something else. A tiny crack in the wall of anger. And through that crack, a different feeling was seeping in. Why do you care? The creature asked. I have killed so many of your kind. Thousands of them. I destroyed their homes. I burned their cities. Why would you want to help me? Seraphis opened their silver eyes and looked up at the towering form above her. She could see the damage on its armor, the scars from countless attacks. She could feel the chaos in its mind, thoughts crashing against each other like waves in a storm. Because killing was all you were taught, she said. Your makers gave you the power to destroy, but never showed you anything else. They made you for war and then wondered why you only knew violence. That is not your fault. The creature's red eyes flickered. Its brain was working hard, trying to understand these new ideas. No one had ever said it was not its fault before. Everyone blamed it. Everyone hated it. Everyone wanted it dead. I cannot stop, the Warbeast said. Even now, something inside me wants to hurt you, wants to crush you. I hear voices that tell me to destroy everything. I do not know how to make them quiet. Seraphis nodded slowly. Those voices were put there by your makers. They programmed you to fight. But programs can be changed. Voices can be silenced. You have a choice, even if you do not know it yet. A choice? What choice? You can choose to stop. You can choose to rest. You can choose to be something other than a weapon. The creature let out a sound that might have been a laugh or might have been a cry. Rest. I do not know what that word means. Since I woke up, there has been no rest. Only fighting. Only running. Only pain that never ends. Then let me show you. Seraphis reached out with her mind, not with commands or orders, but with memories. She showed the Warbeast her home world. Forests full of trees that glowed with soft light. Rivers that sang as they flowed over smooth stones. Mountains that touched the clouds. And everywhere, peace, stillness, quiet. The creature drank in these images like water in a desert. It had never seen anything beautiful before. It had never felt calm. For its entire short life, there had been nothing but laboratories and battles and endless screaming rage. Is such a place real? It asked. It is real. And there are many more places like it. The universe is not only war and death. There is also beauty and peace and joy. You have only seen the worst parts because that is all you were shown. On the Silver Dawn, Kyle watched the Warbeast's readings with growing amazement. The creature's heart rate was slowing down. Its weapons were powering off one by one. Its brainwaves, which had been jagged and chaotic, were smoothing out into calmer patterns. "This is incredible," Nathan said. "She is actually reaching it." The creature is responding. "How long until the bomb arrives?" Kyle asked. 26 hours. That should be enough time. If Seraphis can keep this up, we might actually save everyone. But even as he spoke, Kyle felt a cold fear in his stomach. They were betting everything on one alien mystic and her ability to calm a monster. If something went wrong, if the Warbeast turned violent again, there would be nothing they could do to stop it. Down on the surface, the conversation continued. Hour after hour, Seraphis and the Warbeast talked without words, sharing thoughts and feelings across the gap between their very different minds. "I am so tired," the creature said at last. "I have been fighting since I opened my eyes. I do not want to fight anymore. But I do not know how to stop." Seraphis smiled gently. "That is the first step. Wanting to stop. The rest will come with time. What if the voices come back? What if the rage takes over again? Then you will fight it. And you will not fight alone. I will help you. My people will help you. You do not have to carry this burden by yourself." The Warbeast was quiet for a long moment. Then, slowly, it lowered its massive body to the ground. Its legs folded beneath it. Its weapons retracted into hidden spaces. Its red eyes dimmed to a soft orange glow. "I am tired," it said again. "So very tired." "Then rest," Seraphis whispered. "Close your eyes. Let go of the anger. Let the pain fade away. You have fought long enough. It is time to sleep. And for the first time in its short, violent life, the Warbeast closed its eyes and rested. 6 months had passed since the Warbeast fell asleep. The universe had changed in those 6 months. The Galactic Council had argued for weeks about what to do with the creature. Some wanted it destroyed. Some wanted it studied. Some wanted it locked away forever. But in the end, they agreed to let the Velocity take it. The decision was not easy. Many people were angry. They had lost family and friends to the Warbeast attacks. They wanted revenge. They wanted justice. But Admiral Patricia Cole spoke for hours about second chances and learning from mistakes. She talked about the future and how holding on to hate would only lead to more pain. In the end, enough council members agreed. The Warbeast would go to Vela 3 Space. Now, Commander Kyle Bennett stood on the observation deck of his new ship, the Harmony. It was a fitting name, he thought. After all the death and destruction, Harmony was what they all needed most. Seraphis stood beside him. Her blue skin glowed softly in the dim light. Her silver eyes reflected the stars outside the window. "The creature woke up yesterday," she said. For the first time, it woke up without anger. It looked around at our healers and did not try to hurt them. That is good news. It is more than good. It is a miracle. Seraphis turned to face him. "Kyle, the creature has asked for something." "A name." Kyle raised his eyebrows. "A name?" "Yes. It said that Omega-7 was never its real name. That was just a label your scientists gave it. It wants a true name." Something that tells the world who it really is. What name did it choose? Guardian. Kyle was silent for a moment, letting the words sink in. Guardian. The monster that had killed thousands wanted to be called Guardian. It seemed impossible, crazy, like a joke that was not funny. But then he thought about it more. The Warbeast had been made to protect humanity. That was its original purpose. The scientists wanted to create something that would keep humans safe from all the dangers in the universe. They just went about it the wrong way. They made a weapon instead of a protector. Maybe Guardian was not such a strange name after all. Maybe it was exactly right. Guardian, he said slowly. I like it. The creature likes it too. It says that from now on, it wants to protect life instead of destroying it. It wants to make up for all the pain it caused. Can it ever make up for 20,000 deaths? Seraphis shook her head sadly. No, that weight will always be there. Guardian knows this. It feels the guilt every moment of every day. But carrying that guilt while still trying to do good is part of healing. It is part of becoming something better. Kyle nodded. He understood guilt. He had felt it himself every time he thought about the people who died while he was trying to find a solution. He could have done more. He could have acted faster. He could have saved more lives. But guilt without action was just suffering. The only way forward was to learn and grow and try to do better next time. What happens now? He asked. Guardian will stay with us for many years. Our healers will help it learn to control the voices in its head. They will teach it how to be calm, how to be gentle, how to use its power for good. Someday, when it is ready, it may return to human space. And what will it do then? That will be its choice. Perhaps it will guard your colonies from pirates and invaders. Perhaps it will explore the unknown parts of the galaxy. Perhaps it will simply exist, living quietly and peacefully, enjoying the life it was never allowed to have before. Kyle smiled. I hope I am around to see that. You will be. Your species lives a long time for organics. And we Vela 3 live even longer. We will meet again, Kyle Bennett. I am sure of it. She reached out and touched his hand. Her skin was cool and smooth, but the gesture was warm. It was the touch of a friend saying goodbye. Thank you, Kyle said, for everything you have done. Saving those people. For saving Guardian. For showing us that there is another way. Thank you for listening. Many species would not have. They would have dropped their bomb and killed everyone without trying to understand. But you gave us a chance. That takes courage. Or desperation. Seraphis laughed softly. Sometimes they are the same thing. The door opened behind them. Admiral Patricia Cole walked onto the observation deck. She looked different than she had 6 months ago. The hardness in her eyes had softened. The weight on her shoulders seemed lighter. The Velathri ship is ready to depart, she said. I wanted to say goodbye personally. Seraphis bowed her head. Thank you, Admiral. You spoke well at the council. Without your words, they would not have agreed to this. I said what needed to be said. Nothing more. You said the truth. That is always enough. Patricia walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Guardian was waiting to begin its new life. A creature born for war was going to learn about peace. A monster was going to become a hero. It still seemed impossible, but here they were. Do you think other species will accept this? She asked. A weapon becoming a protector? Some of them lost people too. They have every right to be angry. Anger fades with time, Seraphis said. And when they see Guardian doing good instead of harm, their hearts may change. Not all of them, perhaps. But enough. I hope you are right. So do I. The Velathri ship began to pull away from the Harmony. Its organic hull glowed with soft colors as it turned toward the stars. Inside, Guardian was sleeping again, dreaming its strange dreams. Dreams of forests and rivers and a world where nothing hurt. Kyle watched until the ship disappeared into the darkness of space. Then he turned to Admiral Cole. "What do we do now?" "We rebuild," she said. "We fix what was broken. We help the survivors heal. And we make sure we never make the same mistake again." "How do we do that?" "By remembering. By teaching our children about what happened here. By asking ourselves, every time we create something new, whether we really understand what we are making." Kyle nodded. It was a good answer. Maybe the only answer. Humanity had made a terrible mistake with the Warbeast. They had created life without understanding it. They had made a child and treated it like a tool. And thousands had paid the price. But they had also done something amazing. They had found a way to fix their mistake without more killing. They had listened to an alien mystic who told them there was another way. They had given a monster a second chance. That was something to be proud of. Kyle walked to his command chair and sat down. Through the window, stars sparkled like diamonds on black cloth. Each one was a sun. Each sun might have planets. Each planet might have life. The universe was big and full of wonders and dangers and possibilities he could not even imagine. And somewhere out there, a creature called Guardian was beginning its journey from darkness into light. Kyle smiled. This was not the end of the story. It was just the beginning.